is Thursday, and you know what that means. We're live for some box office banter brought to you by Bathgate Cinema. Kev here as always, and Jay Mack, who's gone out of focus.
He's back. J Mac's back.
Man.
Back again.
Oh no, you didn't. You
I
did.
did. I'm sorry about that. I'm really sorry.
Damn
Hey guys.
it. So, how's your week been?
Busy. Been training for the new job this week, so all working from home. This is my first taste of working from home. So
Just as everybody starts coming back to work.
yeah, it's a bit weird, but I've really quite enjoyed it. To be honest, it's been interesting stuff that I'm doing as well. So yeah, it's all good.
So this week we head into Bathgate Cinema, which everyone should each week, and we checked out the movie we are chatting about today, which is A Quiet Place Part 2. You have to say it very quiet, otherwise a big monster comes and takes you away. Spoiler alert!
I think we can kind of disperse with a spoiler about the monster for this one, because I'm assuming that anybody that goes to see this one has seen the first one. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So
you kind of saw what we done last week with the box office banter. We will talk a bit about the movie, and we also have a couple bits of trivia, wee games, bits that makes it interesting. Tell us what you do like and what you don't like. You can do that in the comment section. Also, if you write something in the comment section, we will pull it up screen and chat to you a little bit about what it is exactly that you felt about it. How was your actual trip, J Mac, into the Bathgate Cinema? I did hear from Ross that he managed to make it not so much a quiet place when you and your wife visited.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, it was a weekday night, so a bit quieter in the cinema, so you can get away with certain things that you can't get away with when it's busy. Not what you're thinking. So what happened was, we're watching A Quiet Place. It's a quiet bit of the film, very kind of a lot of anticipation, like what's going to happen. I know something's coming, I just don't know when. And then all of a sudden, Ross jumps up from behind the seats behind us. He's crept his way in for the back of the cinema, and he's jumped up behind us and went, "Whoa!" I jumped, right? My wife went into another dimension. I said he was lucky not to get his eyes clawed out. She absolutely bricked herself, and yeah, his plan worked. This isn't like a standard thing you get at Bathgate Cinema. I think he was taking advantage of my good nature. Ross, I'll get you back. I did get him back, actually. I got him back in the foyer. Yeah, I went downstairs when the film had finished, and I heard him chatting in the office, so I just waited behind the wall.
Yes. The foyer. I don't think I've ever heard it being called a foyer.
It's a foyer. When you walk into a building, it's a foyer.
A foyer,
or as the Americans call it, a fire.
Where is Jay Mack? He's in the foyer.
I am French, so I have to be speaking.
He's in the foyer. Yeah, before we go ahead and play the trailer for this movie, this absolute masterpiece, I would like to tell you guys that Rhea and the Last Dragon, isn't it?
Yes, that's gone.
Rhea, King Kong versus Godzilla and The Conjuring, which we just covered last week. We're like this. Go see it. It's like, it's gone.
Yeah, that is the thing. There's two screens, so there's, you know what I mean, you've got limited time to see these films, so when you see them in there, go and see them. Don't think to yourself, I'll go and see that at Bathgate Cinema next week, because there's a good chance they'll need to bring something else in. So if you see it in there, don't think about it, just go and see it.
If you don't look into the eyes, look around the eyes. No, sorry, not around the eyes, look into the eyes. Land around it. Go see it. Exactly. Make sure you do go see it. I had some nachos recently at the cinema, and they were class. And I also had popcorn. It was sweet popcorn, and it was bloody brilliant. And the service was top class. There's a wee dude called Andrew, and he was really sound. Hey, Ross Gunning says, haha, loved it. This is Ross that scared you.
Yeah. Hi, Ross. I'll get you back worse. I will.
I'll get you back worse. Hey, J Mac, is this exactly how you feel about that?
I did not know that was coming tonight. Hey, one more time. Don't ever send Kevin anything with "For Your Eyes Only" written on it, because he'll use it in a podcast.
So anytime now we talk about something that's just a thumbs down, that is literally what's going to happen.
If Gladiator was like that,
Right, that's enough for now. We're going to overkill
eh? As we do, as we do.
So, just to mention before I play this trailer, box office for A Quiet Place Part 2 was 143 million in its opening weekend. So
That's pretty decent.
that's class. That's a good sign for the cinema in general. Cinema.
Cinema.
That people are still going to see movies. So I'm really looking for that. Heather Dow says hi guys. Heather, hello. And we'll talk about a wee bit about the cool stuff that Heather's been helping with recently. So without further ado, we're going to play the trailer right now to A Quiet Place 2. And if you're watching this on YouTube, anything I say I'm going to play now, you will not see it because I had to remove it because I get copyright shafted. Enjoy. Damn, that was class.
Is that a wee?
So mate. So let's kind of go back to Quiet Place, the original release. John Krasinski himself, he wrote that, and he kind of co-directed. Who was it he co-directed it with?
I can't remember. Anyway,
someone.
He definitely played a major part in directing it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, in the first one, yeah, and he wrote it, of course. So and he's kind of one of those other actors that's kind of taken he's a comedy actor that has went into like serious directing of horrors. The cool thing I love about A Quiet Place is how original it is and how one really cool thing about it is he doesn't make the movie all about the big scary monsters smashing stuff. It's centered purely on the characters.
Yeah.
And everything else that goes on around the characters and not. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, whoa, look at that, look at what we just done there with special effects.
Yeah. It's the thing I like about the first one and the sequel, which we'll talk about in more depth, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I like about it is you don't want bad things to happen to the people in it. Unlike when you go and see most horror films, you're waiting for the scares and you're waiting for the next kill. In this one, you are praying that everybody gets away all the time.
Also, it doesn't even insult your intelligence. Like, you don't see anybody fall over and go, right? No. Everybody in that, like, if you get done in, you're getting done in because you were just bested by the big ass monster. You know what I mean? It's not like no one makes a stupid decision from everything from like eating like their food without cutlery. Remember they playing that board game and they had they were using pieces of tissue because it makes no sound. Like everything is calculated and it's smart. It's really well done because if it wasn't, I think it would fall into that bargain bin £3 DVD. You know what I mean? Oh, here we go. You know, somebody's. In fact, wait a minute. In the first one, that guy that looks right at John Krasinski and goes like that.
Yeah, I think that guy had just had enough. You know, he's like, I'm so fed up of hiding for these things. He directed the first one and co-wrote it with Brian Woods and Scott Beck. There you go.
Oh, look at that. She's our facts guy. Heather Dow is our facts guy, among other things.
Our behind-the-scenes producer we didn't ask for, but thank you very much.
No, I absolutely. I think she's class.
Man, I look like a peanut. Right, okay. Moving on swiftly. Thanks for your assistance.
Yeah, I mean, you should meet Heather one day.
I really should, yeah.
She looks kind of like you. Same birthday ever, man.
I remember doing that kind of male to female filter thing on Snapchat once, and I was like, "Oh Jesus!" I just sent it to Heather and said, "Hey, it's you."
Class. So yeah, talking about the severity of the situation in A Quiet Place, and another cool thing is obviously John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are married in real life, so they're playing on some real life chemistry, which kind of adds to the show. I also think for me, and I've said this to pretty much everybody I've spoken to the movie about, the wee girl who's called Millicent Simmons, the wee girl that's deaf, she is an incredible actress. She only has 3 credits to her name, right? But I think she's got a huge future.
Yeah. Also, in fact, it was one thing I was going to comment on was the child acting in general in the first and second one, but I'm just remembering the second one from last night when I seen it. these kids are going places.
Yeah.
The problem is with child actors, it can be a very good place or a very bad place. You never know what way it's going to go. It could be, they might end up in movies for years and years to come, like Jodie Foster, or they could end up divorcing their parents and ending up,
Like Macaulay
in,
Culkin.
in the gutter somewhere for a good number of years. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen.
Aye, that took a turn.
It's the truth of the industry. It's an
Aye.
unfortunate truth, but I wish the best on these kids because they were both really, really good. Really
I
good.
really think Millicent is a future star. She's going to be one of those actresses like Chloe Grace Moretz. One you see as a child actor, you kind of watch her grow up, and the more she grows, the better she becomes. Even though she was class when she started, I kind of see her in that same vein. So the casting's perfect, and the great thing as well, doesn't need a huge cast. I like
No.
shows, I like movies that don't have a huge cast because it gets you more intimate. And if you look at the way things are shot as well, everything is kind of cozy the whole time, and you're spending your time like A Quiet Place could insinuate that there's monsters, and you never actually see it, and you would still really enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To be honest, I mean, it's one of the kind of common mistakes of horror is to show you too much. I think the more that you can leave to the imagination, the better.
Yeah.
By all means, have the big reveal at the end of the film. It's always going to happen. That's a kind of satisfaction thing. But keep as much hidden for as long as you can. Now, they kind of did it in A Quiet Place Part 1. Part 2, you know what you're getting. So they're there from the get-go. But what I loved about the opening scene of this movie, basically, it's a flashback to how A Quiet Place 1 happened. And it shows you the very first time these things show up. It manages to be shocking without being gory, and that's impressive. It's impressive. So, I mean, John Krasinski, I think if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to go down as one of the great kind of horror directors.
No, even just
I mean,
horror, mate.
I know I'm sure he will do a lot more. This is a guy who's, I've got a bit of a man crush on Krasinski, like since The Office. I think he's a really, really talented guy. And he's got a big nose like me. So, in fact, I think his might, believe it or not, I think his might be bigger. It's kind of hard to imagine, like, but this guy is going places, and he really should go down in history. And these monsters are going to go down as one of the best kind of movie monsters in history. I think they're brilliant. The way their heads come apart when they're listening to stuff actually makes, it's that nails on a chalkboard feeling that I get. It gives me the jeebs, and I don't know why. But just whenever you see the skull kind of cracking apart and stuff, it's just like,
mate, my arm always goes funny. See, when I look at stuff like that, my arm always tingles, and I get that right now as you're saying that, as I recall that. So when a Quiet Place finishes, is pretty much where A Quiet Place Part 2 picks up. This is a spoiler-free show for this movie, so we're obviously not going to go into it too much. So we'll talk a bit about what you can expect without wasting anything. Jill McGinty says, looking forward to my first visit to you on Tuesday to see The Father. I'm not have done. No, I'm kidding. She means Bathgate Cinema. Jill, you will have an amazing time, and also make sure you tune in here next Thursday to tell us exactly, first off, how the movie was, because we will be, not this next Thursday, but the Thursday after, we will be doing the review on The Father. So we'd like to get your thoughts on it beforehand, and everybody else's. If you're going to see something at Bathgate Cinema, even just go to Jibber Jabber page. Also, make sure you go to the social media on Bathgate Cinema and leave a review. Let others know how your time was. So we break away from Quiet Place 1, and it starts almost with a bit of a prequel, and it goes into the new movie. Before we get into a bit about the new stuff, here are some new releases.
Are you fed up of sitting on the sofa? Why not come and sit on ours instead? Bathgate Cinema is open and ready for you. We've got something for everyone. Want to bring the kids along? Come and see Peter Rabbit 2, still showing. Also, feast your eyes on Raya and the Last Dragon, Disney's latest animated spectacular. Or, if you fancy something a little bit different, why not try some Japanese anime with Demon Slayer the movie, English dub, so you don't even need to read it. If you fancy a good scare, we've got you more than covered. With The Conjuring 3 still showing, and A Quiet Place 2 starring Emily Blunt and Cillian Murphy, the amazing follow-up to Part 1. Funnily enough. Or why not try one of our new releases? Showing from this Friday, the 11th of June, The Father, starring Anthony Hopkins and Olivia Colman. A touching drama about family and the frailty of the human mind. Tissues not included. Also from Disney, Cruella, as you've never seen her before. In this amazing origin story that will have you on the edge of your seat and tapping your toe at the same time to an amazing soundtrack. All tickets on sale now at bathgatecinema.com or at the box office. Be there or be somewhere else less fun. All information was correct at time of recording, except the website, which is bathgatecinema.co.uk.
Yeah, the no one. I don't think anybody noticed that in the audio, but the website is absolutely.co.uk. We have another comment here from someone on Facebook. Kevin Carroll, I went to the double A Quiet Place 1 and 2. Fantastic. That would be incredible. Obviously, we didn't have that much time to watch both. That would be incredible. I would love that. And I think that would have been class.
Bumble, bumble, rumble.
Just trying to gather my thoughts. So
were you? Could never guess. So that would have been class, because that really would be class. We would like to, because that would have been class.
Shut up. Aye, so we're into A Quiet Place 2 now, and much like The Conjuring, even more so. You know, like last week I said, you know what you're getting with The Conjuring, so you kind of you go and you're not disappointed. Well, this, it does, it ups the game. We're in new territory now because we've already seen the monsters. We didn't know much about them, where they kind of came from, but we did see them. Now, knowing that, they don't play on the suspense too much of, oh, what's out there kind of thing. It's like, well, we know what's happening. There's a dead one right there. And you kind of see the girls now, the mother, Emily Blunt, and the daughter. What was her name in it again? Reagan. So Reagan. So she, with that, they now have a way of kind of defeating them as she's kicking about with an amp that I can't actually say it because it would ruin it for some folk, but they have methods now in which to travel safely without having to deal with it, but things always kind of take a turn for the worst, as they do in any kind of movie, and there's plenty of moments where you're like, oh no, the baby, no. Yeah, where you're on the edge of your seat going, oh, this can't happen.
Yeah, what's good about it is that although you say like things always take a turn for the worst, as it does in any movie, but things always take a turn for the worst, but in places where you expect it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's movies like Armageddon where things go wrong for the sake of it, just to keep the film moving. But here it's like, you would think to yourself, surely something has to go wrong in this situation, and it does. But it's not out with the realms of possibility. You know, it works well. You know things are going to go wrong. It's just how and when, and it's always surprising, especially when the cinema's events manager jumps up behind you and scares the ever-loving poop out of you.
Yeah, I mean, would you class this as a horror?
Yes.
So
as simple as that. It's a suspense horror thriller, sci-fi. It's drama. It's everything. It's everything rolled into one.
I think it's very much a survival, and it's a survival movie.
Yeah, it's post-apocalyptic, sci-fi, survival, drama, horror, thriller, suspense.
That's another cool thing where you're saying that there. When you say post-apocalyptic, it's a complete. The apocalypse didn't look like that. When you think of apocalypse, you think burnt down buildings, nothing, no way to sustain yourself. Every part of that, they can sustain themselves. They just need to do it quietly. I think just
when you think it's one of these things where you think, you know, so all they need to do is do it quietly. Do you know how hard it is to do things quietly all the time?
Oh, mate, walking up the stairs quietly.
when you have to be quiet, every noise is amplified. When you lock your door at night, it sounds like somebody just coming in shaking maracas around the house. You can't lock the door quietly at night. You can't. I don't know. You can't put a glass away in the kitchen cupboard quietly at night. You'll hit 50 other glasses somehow. It's just every noise is amplified, and that's what the use of sound in this film. The sound engineering is just amazing. Just they make you feel every little crick and crack and every possible sound that might happen. You can hear it as if it's right in your ear, and the Bathgate sound system helps that a lot.
Mate, and here's another thing. This is something that online people were kind of chatting about. A lot of people that have gone to see it, not in Bathgate Cinema, have said that they've had not the greatest cinema experience, because when a movie like A Quiet Place is on, your awareness of people around you making sounds is heightened because the movie's so quiet, and it can be frustrating.
I can understand that, but who can you blame for that except people that don't know how to go to the cinema anymore?
I forgot how to go to the cinema, so I did.
No, it's true. There's so many people out there that have forgotten how to go and sit and watch a film without interrupting, without talking, without bringing their phone out. If you're one of these people, just stop it. It's not part of the experience. It's not part of the experience that anybody else paid for either. So just think about other people when you go. That being said, I'll say the same again. You need to remember where you are. I know everybody's been locked in the house for the last year and a half, and we all just you might have literally forgotten that you're not sitting in your own sofa, which is easy to do in Bathgate Cinema. But you're not in your own house, so you have to remember that there are people there that are there to enjoy the experience. There's nights that are a bit different, like when you've got a dirty dancing night or something like that, where drinks are flowing and things get a bit wild. That's fine. But for a film like that, you really need to sit down and watch and enjoy it and see it the way it's supposed to be seen.
Heather Dow said, "I'd say thriller more than horror, as I was fine watching it." Ha ha. On the note with you talking about Dirty Dancing there are quite a few really, really fun events coming up at Bathgate Cinema. We've got Braveheart on the 31st of July. There will be more on that soon. There's more details coming, but do get your tickets, because every penny of that ticket will be worth it, especially when you see what we've got in store. Rocky Horror Picture Show is at the end of October, so that will be amazing. Rocky Horror actually sold out, so they're adding another date. So join them and do the time warp. I'll do it like J Mac. So join us, do the time warp. No tissues provided.
Why do you need tissues for the time warp?
For Rocky Horror. I'm only kidding. I'm kidding. You've got Dirty Dancing on the 17th as well, and we've got what else was there? Oh, The Greatest Showman. Yeah, that's on the 26th of June. So a lot going on at Bathgate Cinema. Go get your tickets. Make sure you get a ticket. Go ahead and have fun. Let's remember what it was like to be at the cinema before the world went
before the world became a quiet place.
Mate, didn't it? So do so. Also remember that you're helping a local business when it comes to the cinema, and you're not going to put money in. Think about this as well. Who didn't have the backs of the working man during the old COVID? It was the big corporations, wasn't it?
Yeah,
they're the ones that they got rich, and all the small men were destroyed. So it's now time to stick it to them. Take that, Odeon, View, and Cineworld. Kidding. No, I'm kidding. But
are we allowed to do that?
I don't know. I take full responsibility. The opinions expressed here are of my own and not of Bathgate Cinema or Reflection in any way. They're like, it is.
You've just negated
it. No, like I say, these guys, they put their heart and soul in this to make it a community cinema for you guys to go and enjoy. So let's make sure we put the support in, because remember, we support them, they support us, and that's not how corporations work. So these guys aren't a corporation. So let's do that. Let's do that. Would you agree, J Mack?
Stick it to the man.
Stick it to the man. So that would be absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of sticking it to the man, here is a trailer for Bathgate Cinema, just in case you've never been and you'd like to see what it's like. This is how cool it could be for you one evening, afternoon, or morning.
It's been a tough year, but our doors are open as of the 21st of May. Bring your kids and book up for all this year's must-see movies. We have now opened a kids zone, so you don't have to worry about your children sitting still. Why not grab yourself a beverage, soft or alcoholic, some freshly prepared popcorn, hot dogs and snacks. Park behind the Cottage Cafe in Bathgate Engine Lane. Walk down the footpath to George Street where you will find us. You can't miss it. Book now online at www.bathgatecinema.co.uk to reserve your space.
She got the website right.
It was written down in front of you.
Right. In the professional way.
But yeah, make sure to go ahead and check out Bathgate Cinema if you haven't. I mean, when you hear local cinema, it's not a thing that happens anymore, is it? It's not something you can actually go
There's
to every
only
town
like
and see.
there's only like 6 in Scotland or something. There's not a lot of private cinemas anymore.
No.
There's like that one. There's Bathgate Cinema, and there's one in Glasgow. There's one in Alloa, Arbroath, and there's one in oh god, Inverness somewhere or something. They're so kind of spread out.
Yeah.
So yeah, support your local cinema.
Yeah. Also, Alloa Cinema is basically run by the same company, by the same people. So make sure to check out alloacinema.co.uk, buy your tickets there, head in to see what's going on there as well. Pretty much the same as what's going on in Bathgate. Obviously, we're local to Bathgate, so we kind of plug Bathgate more. But Alloa, everything. If you're from Alloa, if you're in the Alloa area, you're absolutely getting the same kind of deal. We need to go in and check out Alloa just for the sake of going in and checking it out and getting a wee review.
Yeah, we really should actually. We'll
We'll
do
make
that.
the point to go up. And also, before we get to our next wee segment, which is the something-o-meter, I would just like to say that if you can see here, this was our very first T-shirt. It was the original Jibber Jabber podcast. We're approaching our 100th episode next week, right? And when we started off, everything's gradually gotten better. We got better at stuff, and the people around us got better at stuff, and we got better people around us. So as you can see, J Mac there's wearing the new hoodie, which is basically our logo hoodie. But we got some really cool designs coming up, which we have to say a huge thanks to Heather Dowfer. Her name's not Heather Dowfer. I mean,
It is now.
A huge thanks to Heather Dow, because she's created these really cool t-shirts, and she's creating more t-shirts, and she basically will be running our store, which you can go to at www.jibberjabberstore.co.uk and order t-shirts. There will be special edition ones coming up. There will be a special edition t-shirt, a special edition hoodie for the 100th episode that one person will win, and it will be a parody of the Jibber Jabber podcast to parody a selected movie. So if you tune in next week on our regular time, you will be able to bag yourself a hoodie if you're class. And I would also like to mention that coming up in the next few weeks, we have got our wee roadmap here. So you can see Cruella, we will be reviewing that on the 17th. So that's next Thursday, the 17th. And then we move to the Thursday after that. We got the 24th, and that's The Father. And then we move on to the 1st of July. We will be reviewing The Heights. And then on to the 8th, Jordan's personal favourite, Fast and Furious 900.
Yeah. Also, unlike other roadmaps we've been given recently, we're actually going to stick to this one.
What other roadmaps did we have like? Eh?
I can't say.
I don't know what that is.
People will know what I'm talking about. There's been other roadmaps given to us recently that have had to be changed because of circumstances.
Given to us?
Not us as a podcast. I mean, us as a nation. As a nation.
All right. We're
There you go.
I'm like, I would have known.
That's not
I'm like, I
political
would have
at
known
all.
if our podcast had a roadmap. I'm like, how does he know and I don't? And I'm like,
Ah, I love it.
Checking
I love it when a
roadmap.
joke doesn't land.
Sorry.
It just makes me feel so worthwhile.
So moving on to the something-o-meter.
Welcome to this week's Something-ometer, where we measure, you guessed it, something.
Okay, so I'm doing something-o-meter this week, and next week J Mac does it. That's how it works. This week I do the something-o-meter. He does the true or false trivia. Tries to catch me. I beat him last week, so he'll be raging for this week. No, you didn't, Kevin. You didn't beat me. You didn't bite.
I didn't bite. I don't bite.
You didn't realise that. Because you didn't realise you're like, you must have bet me. See, you clocked onto me, clocking onto you. And I clocked
Then
onto
I
you too.
clocked on you, clocking on me, clocking on you.
Exactly.
Clocking on
So I
me.
was like, so I was getting round and round. So the something-o-meter this week is basically where we just we pick something about the movie that had a meter of things. And for me, it was I'm quite descriptive, aren't I? For me, it was the monsters. There were 5 monsters in this. Now on to true or false trivia.
That was quick.
What else can I say? There was 5 monsters. There was 5 monsters. Where in the first one, I think there was like 2, 3 at most.
So they've upped
I
their
thought-
game on the
they've upped their game
on the monsterometer.
Aye, because they're more likely. They're like, "Oh, we can fight these things, so they're kind of going through them. So we're on to true or false trivia now. This is the round where J Mac. Now we decided this. Each week, obviously, it switches on who's doing what, and we've not to look at trivia, right? Unless you're putting in the trivia for the trivia true or false trivia round, the other person doesn't look at it. So I've looked at no trivia to do with this, right? So J Mac will have compiled a list of true trivia and trivia that represents this. And mate, it's the way you look like a hamster when you're fucking squeezing it out. Look. You look like Timothy Spall. Look.
Peter Pettigrew.
No way, man.
No way.
That's class. Hashtag that. So yes, it is now time for true or false trivia. J Mac, have at it, mate. Have at it.
Okay, number 1. John Krasinski didn't want to be involved in the sequel. True or false?
False.
It is true.
How can it be true?
It's true. The producer convinced him to pop over to pitch a few ideas for the sequel, and he ended up writing and directing it.
But it's
Yeah.
his work. What do you mean? I don't want to be in it.
No,
It's yours.
the sequel was it was going to happen with or without him. They just asked him to pitch a few ideas, and then he ended up kind of taking the helm again, which I'm so happy about because he did a stellar job.
Absolutely.
So that's no points for you. So well done, good start.
Bolt.
William Friedkin. Do you know who William Friedkin is?
No.
William Friedkin is the director of The Exorcist.
All right. Yeah. I get you now.
Right. So this guy he's a big deal. Okay. William Friedkin, director of The Exorcist, claims to have hated the film, saying it's not fun, it's not scary, it's just a nothing movie.
True.
False. I'm doing well today. He describes it as a classic horror film and tweeted the phrase "cinema is back." If you can get his blessing, wow.
I totally agree with that. Cinema is back.
Okay, so nothing for you so far. Oh, a shame. A shame. Okay, producers wanted a reference to The Office in the film, obviously, to kind of give a wee kind of big up to John Krasinski.
False.
And he refused, saying that although he appreciates what the show done for him, he wants to move on from it.
False.
It is false.
2-1.
Yeah, there's a coastline map shown on the screen that prominently features Stamford, Connecticut, which is where Jim works in a season or 2 of The Office. So there you go. Okay, and the final one, because there's not a lot of trivia on this yet. In the opening scene, the camera zooms in on Emily Blunt's terrified face as the bus is coming towards her in the car. Now, that's in the trailer, so no spoiler. This wasn't supposed to happen.
True.
Yes, that is true.
So it's a tie.
The camera rig in the back of the pickup truck actually broke and the camera slid forward, resulting in that perfect close up of her face.
Ah!
But that here's where I'm really proud of myself. That's not even in the IMDb trivia. I heard Krasinski saying that in an interview. So well done to me for a bit of extra effort on the true or false. And I think it's was that 3-2? 2?
No, it was 2 each.
1.
So
I only did 4.
yes. Come on, Jay Mack, up your game.
2, 3, 4. Right, so I did 4, so there was no way winning or losing. That's class. That's really good. Well done, Jordan. But like I said, there's not a lot of trivia out there, so I did well to get the 4.
Make one up. I'll answer
it. The monsters in the movie were based on the Gorgonite thing from Stranger Things.
False.
That is false.
I
win! Make one up. All right, I made one up. False. Hey, well done.
Still one, mother. Class. And Bathgate comments here. 26th of June is Greatest Showman, as said. And 17th of July, we've got Dirty Dancing. 31st of July, we have Braveheart, which again, stay tuned for more on that. 29th and 30th of October, Rocky Horror Picture Show. And 28th of August, exclusive. Oh no, they're doing 50 Shades of Grey. Ah. They're doing it. Aye. That's your favourite one, isn't it, J-Mac?
To be fair, I don't think it's aimed at the likes of us.
Aye, I think that's a women's night again, eh? Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. So there we go, an exclusive.
Whoever likes it night. That's it. Whoever likes it night.
Aye, so 50 Shades of Grey on the 28th of August. So there you go, guys. Get in. No pun intended.
You'd think that was planned.
I know. Oh, I was going to give a tie-break question. What is the running time of a... No.
Oh, I actually know this. So
no, but she doesn't get this. She's not getting this. Heather Dow. She's not understanding this. It's trivia. Right? No, what's the runtime? What aspect?
It's a decent... let's go for it. No. Let's go for it. Kevin, what do you think it is? Just take a guess. You went to see it. What time did you go in and what time did you leave?
Well, that's not the thing. The issue here is the fact it's not trivia and it has to be true or false. It's called true or false trivia. And it's 1 hour 37 minutes.
Okay, is it 1 hour 37 minutes? True or false?
Oh, it's a tiebreaker. 1 hour 37 minutes. We'll go for that. Come on, Heather. Come on. Mrs. Know It All.
Why does this all of a sudden feel like an argument?
Because she ruined the game. I think it was roughly about 1 hour and 37 minutes. I would say that if I recall in my research.
I think it was roughly exactly that.
See, there we go, right? So it's safe to say I've not only just beat you at your end game, but I've kind of stomped on your head and spat on you as I walked away. Yeah.
What I would say about that runtime of 1 hour 37 minutes is, I mean, that's a decent length for a film of that type, right? I felt like it was shorter than that because it was so good. Honestly, there's bits of the film where you will feel like you cannot breathe. There's just so much going on and so much that could go wrong. I remember at one point literally going, because it really does build up the tension very well. Look how squint my Terminator poster is. What the hell happened?
Sorry, my finger slipped there and it went to question time. So if you have a question, put it in the comments. This could be about the cinema, about any movies, about anything. We'll kind of stick around for the next 10 minutes and give you guys answers to any questions you may like. Also, the cinema staff usually are in the comment section. And as you can see here, Bathgate Cinema, is that when the events manager scared you? So pop a question in the comments, and we will do our best to answer them for you for the last wee segment of the show. Just before we kind of chat about it again, I just wanted to show you the cool merch that you can get at www.jibberjabberstore.co.uk. You can get a hoodie, a t-shirt. You can get the t-shirt with the white t-shirt and the black logo, or you can get the black t-shirt and the white logo and all that cool stuff. Again, big thanks to Heather Dowful. And Dowfer.
Doubtful.
Dowf.
Oh, yeah, that's doubtful.
Heather Dowfer.
Doubtful. Aye.
So big
Yes.
thanks to Heather Dowfer. And we're working on some more cool stuff to kind of bring to you to this show every week, just like the normal Jibber Jabber episodes. We will try and integrate new cool wee bits and bobs to kind of to give to you guys for more added entertainment value. But we will also be working on bringing on some actor and actress guests. So if there's people you'd like to see us get in contact with, maybe have them on this show, let us know. What Heather Dow says can be round neck or V neck, by the way. Yeah.
Okay.
The t-shirts.
Yeah.
Not the hoodies, though, eh?
I hate V-neck t-shirts. I always
Yeah?
have. I like a round neck t-shirt. I don't know what it is. I mean, obviously hoodies tend to be mostly round neck. Eh? When you get some V-neck ones, zippery ones, but nah, just an over the head hoodie. I like a round neck as well.
Mental.
So,
Here we go. We've got a question. If you could only listen to one soundtrack from a movie for the rest of your life, what is it? Rocky Horror Picture Show. Easy.
I'm going to show a side of myself that I wouldn't normally show, but honestly, The Lion King.
Really?
Yep. 100%.
Hey, by the way, everybody watching that watched last week, if you have a suggestion for a video that can make #MakeJMack cry, you've got like 10 minutes to put it in the comments section, and we will give it a bash to round out the end of the show. If not, we won't make him cry, which we didn't last week. I'm surprised the Hugh Jackman thing didn't get you, man. That was quite.
It did not get me. I was quite
Quite
surprised myself. I can be a sucker for that kind of thing. So,
Mate, aye.
Rocky 6.
I think she meant Rocky 4. Rocky 6.
Rocky 6 is well known for its soundtrack. It's mostly known for keep moving forward.
Exactly.
Can it be cry with laughter? Does that win? That you know, if nobody else gives something that will just make me cry because you've been sad, something that'll make me cry laughing, I'll go with that. I changed it, Yabam. Yabam's great, isn't it?
Mate, I've been using it, and that's why your sister has bumped it. Totally bumped it. 'Cause I called her a bam the other day. That's what happens when you break somebody's leg.
It's only 6 months. It's only a 6-month recovery.
Yeah, bam.
Absolute right, so I think Ross might be about to say something that'll make me cry laughing. I don't know. We'll see. I may be crying with laughter.
There's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, so to kind of just get a wee bit of chat going while we wait on more questions popping in. Emily Blunt's performance in the new one, really good. She's kind of like the glue that holds it together, but the one that knocked it out of the park for me was Millicent Simmons. What a name, eh? Millicent.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder,
very unusual.
Do you think she learned actual sign language for the movie, or do you think that they were just kind of winging it?
I don't know. I'm wondering if she's not actually deaf, is she?
Well, she's only got 3 credits, so probably.
That good enough reason.
Well, how many people require a deaf person to be in a movie?
Anybody that makes a film with a deaf person in it.
Right,
but
3.
I don't know. She might really be deaf. It's worth. I mean, you would think that as a podcast we might have investigated that before coming on tonight. But yeah, she might well be.
So she's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Best known for Wonderstruck, A Quiet Place, and A Quiet Place Part 2. She's originally hails from Bountiful, Utah, At a young age, began performing and telling stories in Native American Sign Language. Right. See, it tells that from a young age she could use sign language. Doesn't it say if she has to use sign language?
Mystery.
Aye. However, so it says here, telling stories in a Native American Sign Language. She joined the theatre and drama club at her elementary school, playing Puck in Midsummer Night's Dream. However, she never expected to be an actress because she had never seen deaf characters like her in a film. She's deaf.
There we go. That's how she was good at it.
So this is kind of shocking for me, right? She actually couldn't hear them.
No, and again, it goes to back to what I was saying about how well the sound's used in this film. There's a lot of the time when it's her point of view, you hear absolutely nothing, and it's almost claustrophobic feeling because you're in a cinema and it's dead silent apart from crisps getting eaten, or people saying, "Have you seen this Snapchat?"
Oh, screw that. Ross Gunning, 3 actors you would have at a dinner party.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and Anthony Hopkins.
Here's the thing though, right? All good and well with who you've chosen, but here's the thing. See, if it was me, I wouldn't want bigger personalities at the table than me, because it's my dinner party and I want to be the one cranking the jokes.
You want to win, come dine with me. That's what it is.
Not so much that, but you're sitting there and Arnie's like that with his big stogie. It's about the time, remember? Arnie, we'll get to your stories, man. Pass the gravy. Anyways,
that impression, by the way,
that was what?
It was fantastic.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Was it? Class,
No.
man. I didn't usually do Arnie. So I'd probably go for someone like Millicent Simmons.
Emily Blunt and Cillian Murphy. We forgot to mention him, by the way.
I know.
Mentioned him, and he was awesome. What I like about it is you don't know what way it's going to go with his character as well. You don't know if he's cool, if he's bad, if he's good, if he's sad.
There's one point where you hear him acting like a Peaky Blinder, and it's when he's running and he shouts something. Can't remember what it was. It's the only time he sounded like Tommy Shelby.
It's funny because that's not even his real accent.
Mad, I know, but do you find some actors that have success with a specific character tend to carry that on? Like, look at Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Never acted like Negan until he played Negan, right? And then after Negan, he still played Negan. Have you seen Rampage?
Yeah.
Right.
But that film was way better than it should have been.
Exactly. It really was it. But here's the thing: when Jeffrey Dean Morgan shows up, he's playing Negan.
Yeah, pretty much.
He doesn't play.
I think the problem is that people will kind of latch onto that character and just start offering him roles that are like that. All it'll take is for the script notes to say a bit like Negan, and they'll go, "Well, let's try and get Negan." So, but I think it could also be you looking for it as well. Like you said,
it's
like
absolutely him. Absolutely was that.
I honestly didn't notice.
Do you watch Peaky Blinders?
I have seen it, yes.
Do you watch it?
I've got it on DVD.
Do you watch it?
It's still in plastic.
Right. So that's why you didn't fucking see it. All right.
just for reference, by the way, you've swore twice and I've sworn none.
Mate, I've told you this a million times, right? See, when you do something that you shouldn't do, you're not supposed to highlight it because then everybody knows you've done it. Most of the time, they just gloss past it. They don't realize you've done it. But you're like, by the way, I mean, think about it. You've swore 3 times, and no one's noticed because I never highlighted it. That's one more than me. I'm like, that's one more than me. Pick number 3, my lord.
Jibber Jabber does come dine with me. That's your new podcast,
mate. That'd be quite cool. I'd probably get the points for cooking.
Oh, do you think so?
Oh, I mate, man.
So, mate. So. I know you cook a mean breakfast, but that's it,
mate. Did you not see my dinner I cooked for you the night? Not for you, for me.
For me, no.
I sent you a picture and you said it looked class.
It looked like chicken and veg. Looked good, man.
Look how
offended he is.
Mate, it would be a good episode. Would be a good episode.
The thing is, I'd win if I can join in. But you need to be able to
Well-
stand up.
She's not got a leg to stand on. I would totally be up for that. Thing is, though, I've already smashed your sister at a burger off. I mean,
You already do what?
smashed your sister at a burger off. We had a burger off, and I won. My burgers tasted better than hers.
You can't say you've smashed my sister. It sounded a bit just.
For the soundbite.
Oh God.
And it was actually, I've already smashed your sister. Aye, so she got smashed in a burger off. A burger off. So all I need to do now is smash you in a cook off. And that's 2 make eggs done.
She's a dow.
True. Speaking of Dow, there's one there. Yeah, Ian Dow
It
says
certainly was a bad
word.
choice of words. It certainly was.
Have I ever used a great choice of words?
No, but just to look me dead in the eye and say I've smashed your sister is quite.
Leg and at cooking.
This is going way off the rails.
Well, this was question time, so I mean, this is the part where it's supposed to.
Yeah. So I tried yours. You didn't try my burger.
Because I heard it was shite. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But aye, on that note, it seems now everybody just wants us to kind of cook off and what off.
Get to cook.
I get to cook. If you guys would like to see us doing a come down with me kind of cool thing, we could definitely arrange that. There's some really cool stuff in the pipeline anyway.
So it would need to be a video podcast, not a live one.
right.
Either. It would need to be
Alright.
properly done.
Which we have the means to do so.
can do. Yes.
Mhm.
Also, keep an eye out for an interesting promo coming up soon, starring Kevin Wales.
Keep your eyes
It's
on
for 50
everything.
Shades of Grey.
I'm not doing a promo for that.
just me rubbing a feather in your face and smacking you in the bum with a whip.
Right. So on that note, guys,
J Mac smack attack.
J Max Smack Attack. Oh, Ross wants to see it.
Oh, that's funnier than you know.
I know. Right, so it's been absolutely fun tonight. Again, we like to kind of get off into the woods there at the end during question time. So next Thursday, if you got questions you want to bring that are kind of semi-related, but may even be about burgers or stuff. To clarify, Ross says, not that, your Kevin promo. Timing.
Oh my.
Yeah, so join us next week as well, where at the end of the show you might something fun might happen. Who knows? You never know, right? But join us next week where we will be chatting about Cruella. J-Mac, you've already seen this, so
Yes,
you're gonna have to stop watching things that are coming out. Otherwise, it's gonna be.
I'm going to watch it again. I'll watch it again.
Aye.
Yeah.
That kind of indicates how good it must be then. If you'll watch it again, straight
I'm
away.
saying nothing. I'm not giving my opinion on it yet.
Yeah. So join us next week where we'll
You'll need to wait till next week till you find out that I liked it.
Join us next week where we will be talking about Cruella. Let us know if you went to see it. Let us know what you went to see. Make sure you go to www.bathgatecinema.co.uk. Go to aloacinema.co.uk.
There's
Buy
also
a ticket.
Arbroath.
Arbroath, is there?
Yeah, they've got Arbroath Cinema as well.
Oh, there is. Aye, that's mad.
Yes. Yep.
I mean,
I
I don't think anybody in here is from Arbroath, but if you are, make sure you do. Remember, we have these movies coming up in the next couple of weeks. So Cruella is next on the list. Tell us, even send us wee video clips. If you send us a wee video clip of your reaction or even going into the cinema, we'll play it here on the show. This is no just your show. Chalmers Film House. I think that's what it's called. That's in Arbroath. So, make sure to tune in next week. No one's given us nothing to make J Mac cry, so I'll come up with something maybe for next week, and we'll try and get him whinging. You're screaming, aren't you? You're screaming. So
I
join
look
us
forward
next.
to it, as always.
Absolutely, hit the subscribe button everywhere you're watching it. Whatever. Also, remember these episodes are also on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Alexa, everywhere that says podcast or you can play a podcast, we are there. So if you like listening to this on the go, do so, and make sure to tune in every Thursday at 8:30, where we bring you the coolest stuff that's happening in Bathgate Cinema, Alloa Cinema, and the Film House. J-Mac, anything else you'd like to say to these lovely folks that have tuned in to watch us tonight before we go?
Absolutely nothing at all, except thank you for watching again, and please come back next week and we will give you an even better show.
Absolutely. And go buy tickets now. Take it easy, guys. See you next Thursday.
No, this is have a good night.